All right, so let's jump right into this. We're going to cut the shit, get down to brass tacks here. So, what is this program? So, this is a 16-week program that we're going to be doing, broken up into 6 phases. So, starting from ground zero today, progressing all the way to an advanced muscle building routine. So who's this for? Well, this is specifically designed for men who have either taken an extended break from their training. I don't know what happened to our music, but that's okay. We'll get back to it. So if you've taken a break from your training, or if you're someone who's just starting for the first time. Now, why? Why am I doing this program? Well, over my 33 years of training, I used to subscribe to a lot of different philosophies with training. They were designed to target different muscle groups, and now reflecting years later and a lot of injuries, realize that a lot of those techniques are not only unnecessary, but they're counterproductive, and they lead to a lot of unwanted wear and tear and injuries. So, with that being said, there's a way to build muscle, but do it a little bit smarter so you can do this over a long period of time. Now, how are we doing this program? Like I said, it's over the course of 16 weeks. Broken up into 6 different phases. We're going to be starting at the most basic level, which is what we're starting with today, doing body weight only exercises. Then we'll progress into using other equipment like bands, and then finally bands and weights, all the way up to an advanced weight training routine. Now, moving on, where are we going to do this? Well, right now we are in my home gym. You can see I've got all kinds of equipment in here, set up a lot like a gym. Not all of the pieces of equipment, but in the beginning, we don't need any of that. All you need is your own body and a set of bands. And then eventually we'll progress into going into the gym or using a home gym. We're going to focus mostly on barbells. We're not going to be doing, not barbells, dumbbells. We're not going to be doing a lot of barbell work. Part of this program, again, is not just about building muscle and strength, but also increasing mobility, joint health, etc. So we're going to be avoiding a lot of the exercises that cause those injuries. You don't have to do bar work like bench press or bar squats to build a great physique. So, when? Well, right now. This is the beginning. This is day 1 of week 1, starting with body weight exercises. Now, all through the 16 weeks, we're going to be following the exact same split, which is a 5-day split. So it's a Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and then there is a Saturday workout, which will be a full body workout. But I'm going to be covering in these videos the Monday through Friday workouts. So the split stays the same all the way through the 16 weeks because we don't need to change it. People have a tendency to overcomplicate these things in a progression and think there need to be all these different variables. No, we're going to keep shit basic because basic works. It's the old 80-20 rule. So what is this program not? Like, what should you not expect? Well, this isn't curated content. I'm not cutting this down or editing this down for people with short attention spans. These are full workouts, uncut, hence the name Uncut for the series. So from beginning of the workout to the end of the workout, so you can put your earphones in and you can follow along and you can do these workouts with me. So that's what this program isn't. This isn't some sort of entertainment. I'm not that funny. I'm not that entertaining, but I'm happy to share with you what I'm doing. And I'm personally going to be following this program for the next 16 weeks, trying to get in shape for a goal that I have, which is my birthday. I want to get back into it, but I've had a lot of injuries here over the past 6 months to a year. Really bad shoulder injury, low back injury, blah, blah, blah. We're not going to bitch and complain about our injuries. Instead, we're going to fucking do something about it, and we're going to get back into the groove. And if you're watching this and you're stuck to this point, you can probably relate to that in some way. So that's the goal, is to start without killing ourselves, because let's face it, we're dudes. We do have egos. We want to jump back into an advanced routine and then we fuck ourselves up. We get all sore and then we stop doing it. So the goal here is about consistency and keep going. So let's get our fucking music going and get started. I don't know what happened to it. All right. So First thing that we're gonna do every single workout is we are going to do a warm-up sequence. So today is going to be chest and triceps. So we wanna really work on shoulders here, getting those nice and loose, but we also wanna work on strengthening some of those smaller muscles, those rotator cuff muscles. So I'm gonna show you a quick, easy way to do a warm-up that doesn't take 30 minutes. I don't have time for a 30-minute warm-up, but we do have to prioritize this. So what is going on with our music here? This is killing me. Oh. We're not gonna have one of these boring, quiet workouts. We need some music here, so not sure what's happening. And this is uncut, so like pressure's on. I gotta get my shit together here. Figure out. Ugh. All right. We're just gonna wing this here. Hold on. Okay. I don't know what you guys listen to. I like a lot of 90s, 2000s, everything from alternative rock, 90s, 2000s hip hop. But we're going to get into Spotify here.
Why don't you go to that file that I gave you?
Well, we're just gonna.
Okay.
All right, here we go. Sorry about that. Back in action. Okay. That's a bitch about doing uncut workouts, right? But that's just reality. So you see people doing rotator cuff exercises, so internal rotation, so resistance starting that way, pulling inward, and then doing the opposite, pulling outward. Problem with that is you're having to do both sides, ends up taking a lot of time. So this is a little hack here. Take a workout towel, hold it about shoulder width apart, tuck those elbows by your sides. With my left hand, I'm gonna pull this way and resist with the other and do the opposite. So now we're working everything at the same time. So we want to get at least 12 to 15 of these. That's 3, 4, 5. Create as much resistance as you want. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There we go. All right. We're going to grab a light band over here. Like I said, actually I'm going to use this lighter one. If you have bands, use whatever you have. If you don't have a set of bands, they're an awesome training tool no matter how you like to train, so I recommend picking up a pair. These are bands that I make. These are Undersun Fitness. You can check them out on Amazon if you need a pair. All right, what we're gonna do with this one here, we're gonna keep our elbows elevated right here about shoulder height. Hands nice and square, 90, 90, 90. And all we're gonna do is rotate up till the band touches our forehead and back. That's 4, 5. Nice and control with your tempo. Don't rush these. 7. Want to build bulletproof shoulders here. 8, 9. Shoulder injury is one of the most common. Get in there, we start doing some of these bigger compound movements like chest presses. The weak link in that are those smaller stabilizer muscles that we call our rotator cuffs. So we want to make sure that we condition those. There we go. All right, last one. We're going to do this at the end of our workout here, but we're going to start up the same way. We're going to do arm circles. So we're going to start by doing 10 forward, nice and controlled. That's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, one more, and then we're gonna go backwards. You should start to feel your shoulders firing up at this point, especially if you haven't been doing anything for a bit. It's gonna wake them up. They know something's about to happen. Okay, let's do one more. There we go. Now that got a little bit of blood going there, just real light stretch. Pull our arm across our body. Other side. And then we want to do the opposite here, open up. If you're in a doorway, you can do both arms at the same time. They actually call it a doorway stretch. Just stretch out everything here in our chest or pecs. Remember, all this stuff crosses the shoulder joint. Even our biceps crosses the shoulder. So want to make sure that we're conditioning all that. All right. Now we're going to start. Like I said, today is chest and triceps. We're going to go ahead and do push-ups from the floor. You can throw down a mat if you want. Things I want you to focus on here. We don't need any other equipment. We don't need blocks or handles. I have some here. I used to use these, and this is a good example of stuff that I used to talk about that I don't believe in anymore. Here we go. So those are handles, right? Do your push-ups on these. Why do I think they're not necessary? Well, the philosophy is, helps you get that nice stretch, get a little more range of motion. Yes, it does create a stretch. Yes, you get more range of motion. But do a simple test. Put your hands in front of you like you do a push-up. Let your elbows flare out wide. See how far you can come back with your hands. Pull them as far back. You can see, I can't even get to my chest. Most people can't go past their chest. So this is a natural range of motion. This is what we're going to stick to, is a more natural range of motion. Because when we start forcing past that, all the connective tissue is taking the brunt of that. And that's where you end up all this tendinitis. And usually when people have shoulder pain, prior to like a tear, a tendon rupture, it's tendinitis, it's inflammation in there from doing stupid shit like this. So we don't need to. We do push-ups on the floor, chest touching the floor. So a little wider than shoulder width apart, nice flat back. It's an opportunity to engage the core. See people doing planks. Well, that's all you're doing is core work here. So tighten up your abs. Keep the back nice and straight. Chest out, chin up. We're going to go to the floor. 2 seconds down. 1, 1,000, 1, 1,000, 2 on the way up. So it's a 2, 0, 2 count. So 2 on the way down. 2 on the way up. So that's 2. 3. 4, 5, 6. I want you to do as many as you can do. If you have to take a break, take a break. Shake it off, whatever you have to do. There's 8. 9. 10. Keep going. 11. We're going for 15. 12. 13. 2 more. 14. 15. So, slower rep speeds. Why? Well, that is increased time under tension, or TUT. You'll hear people refer to it as. So that's your rep tempo. So the longer that muscle is under tension, the harder it is. It's an easy way to boost the intensity without having to always go heavier and heavier. So it's a technique we're going to use a lot throughout the next 16 weeks. Why? Well, because if we want to progress and continue getting stronger or building more muscle, there has to be a progression in there. But just lifting heavier weights isn't the only way to do it, because when we lift heavier, we have a tendency to compromise form and start putting things at risk like our shoulders, elbows, etc. So by focusing on more control, it allows us to bring the resistance down just a little bit, get all the benefit without the side effect. So we're gonna do 90-second rest periods here. I want you to make sure you stretch in between. Don't just stand there. We spend all this time contracting a muscle or shortening it, so we need to spend an equal amount of time lengthening it. And 90 seconds goes by quick. If you're in the gym for an hour and a half, you need to check yourself. How much of that time are you just sitting there bullshitting, or like a lot of people texting on your phone? We don't have time for that. We want to keep these workouts quick. Today's workout, if I wasn't talking with you, should only take about 35 minutes. All right, let's go back to it. Remember, 2 seconds on the way down, 2 seconds on the way up. That's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Feel them firing up. 9, 10. Like I said, shake it off if you have to. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Good. Remember, this isn't just about how many push-ups you can do. Who gives a shit how many you can do? It's not a contest here. We're trying to really focus on making that muscle work hard. That's why we're slowing down the reps. So if you could normally do, say, 20, 30, maybe not now, but back in the day, you're probably still telling yourself you can do it. The reality is, can you? But no matter how many you can do, as fast as you can do, you're only going to be able to do a fraction of that by slowing down rep speed. So truth be told, one of the motivations for me doing this is just getting back on track myself. For the first time in a long time, I'm kind of in the same boat. Usually, I've been very consistent over my 33 years of training, but the last 6 months have been tough. Been very sporadic and definitely frustrated. Like I said, I've got my 50th birthday coming up here. I always had the goal of being in awesome shape at 50, so I'm not going to let these injuries get in the way. There's just no way. And it'd be easy to let that happen. We all know how it is with excuses. Although I was always taught there's no such thing as excuses, only reasons. All right. Here we go. So this is our third set. Third and final. We'll move on to our next exercise. Do a little triceps after this. Here we go. There's 3. 5. 8. It's 10. It's burning. Let's keep going. 11. That push pass. 12. 3 more. 1, 2. Yeah. Now, a lot of people wonder, can you build muscle with body weight only? And the answer is yes, absolutely. The challenge with body weight only is when you get into progression. How do you create more intensity as you start to get stronger, as your body starts to adapt? You have to continue to challenge yourself with weights, You can always start bumping weights up with body weight. Your body weight usually stays pretty close to the same, so it becomes a little more challenging. You can still do it to a degree, but usually it requires some extra equipment, maybe adding bands into our push-ups as an example, but you can still build an awesome physique with just body weight. So as we go through this next week, if you like it, you can stick with it as long as you want. You don't have to keep progressing. It's totally up to you. All right, we're gonna pull this bench out. And we're gonna do some old school triceps dips. If you're at home, you don't have a bench, no worries, grab a chair. It'll work just as well. So, hands on the edge of the bench. I like to go pretty much shoulder width apart. Walk those feet out. And we're gonna drop down until we have 90 at the elbow. We don't need to go lower than that. Get a good squeeze at the top. We're gonna do our same tempo. 1, 2, 1, 2. So that's 2. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Already feeling these. 8, 9, 10. Keep it going. 11. There's 12. I'm gonna do 3 more. 1, 2, 3. Ho. You notice in the program I've got between 10 and 15. I'll have to look again. Maybe it says 12 and 15. Do as many as you can, even if you have to stop, shake it out, bust out a couple more, do what you have to do. Whew. All right. I'm gonna do a overhead triceps extension. So take that arm, put your hand right on your elbow. We're gonna pull that arm back gently. Stretch out the triceps. We're gonna come to the other side. There you go. Make sure you grab some water. Hydration obviously is key, not just for overall health and wellness, but it's one of the best things you can do for performance. You gotta remember, the majority of your muscle volume or size is just water, right? It's gonna help with everything down to lubrication, the joints. So prioritize that. All right, so that's set 1. Same thing, we're gonna do 3 sets of these. Now notice as I do these, again, it's not an extreme range of motion. You'll hear a lot of people out there in the world of social media talking about all these extreme ranges of motion. It's not necessary. Again, going back to the example I gave with a push-up, we're gonna stick to more natural ranges of motion. So much easier on your body, and you're gonna get just as good a workout. Like, what's the point of maybe getting some fractional amount extra by going through an extreme range of motion only to cause an injury that causes a setback? It's just not worth it. And that's where my philosophy's changed a lot through the years. I used to advocate a lot of stuff. You gotta remember, I've been doing YouTube since 2009. Used to do things like advanced training techniques, talking about how you target some of these muscles. And now I reflect back and realize it's not really necessary. There's 4. Keep going. 5. 6.
Start seeing results.
8. Hold on. I'll answer that question here when I stop suffering. That's 10. 11. There's 12. So here's a good example. I'm just gonna shake it off for a millisecond. Got 3 more reps. 1, 2. Oh. So how long until you see results? Well, of course, disclaimer, I have to say it depends on how consistently you train, how hard you train, and are you doing all the other things you should be doing? Proper nutrition, proper recovery. If all those things are a check, then what you typically see as a beginner, let's say that you haven't worked out before ever. First 2 to 4 weeks, you're gonna see neurological changes, meaning your nervous system's going to adapt to these movements. It's gonna get used to it, you're almost training it. So you start to see a more immediate increase in strength and coordination. So that's 2 to 4 weeks. 4 to 8 weeks, you actually start to see a little bit of hypertrophy, meaning the muscle is growing, therefore getting stronger. As far as more noticeable results with muscle size, you start to really notice it at 8 to 12 weeks. What you can expect, let's say over the course of a year, your first year of training, again, if you're doing everything right, I would say the first 3 months, maybe 5 pounds of lean muscle. 6 months, potentially up to 10. I would say that's the very upper limit in my opinion. And for a natural guy, right, no performance enhancing drugs or TRT or any of that, over the course of a year, maybe up to 20 pounds. Now that's the extreme side in my opinion, but it can be done. So it's really gonna come down to making sure you're doing everything you need to do. Big one being is coming in here, being consistent, but training hard, bringing that level of intensity. See a lot of people that never progress because they never really get out of their comfort zone. You have to be uncomfortable in here because if you're always doing what you always did, you're always gonna get what you always got. All right, so this is our last set. I'm probably gonna have to shake it off again. You'll notice that when you start slowing down rep speed, you start to get a crazy pump too, and it burns. I personally think going heavier is easier. Like it's hard in the resistance that you're moving, but when you get into slower rep speeds, that lactate, or what people refer to as lactic acid, that burn in the muscle is much stronger. So it's hard. There's 6. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Let's do one more and I'll shake it off. Okay, here we go, 3 more. Make them good. 1, 2, 3. Yikes. Oh. So this is called Uncut, but Mike was just saying that we'll always have one cut because our camera shuts off at 30 minutes every time. But it also tells you we're rocking, we're getting through this stuff. So those were our triceps dips. We're gonna keep this bench out here. Maybe scoot it out of the way a bit. And we're going to do an incline push-up. So this mimics doing an incline bench press. So we'd typically be about 45 degrees on a bench. So that's gonna work a bit more of the upper chest. But keep in mind, it's also easy to work a lot of the anterior delts, the front of the shoulder. So we want to try to get that mind-muscle connection. Think about feeling that contraction in the chest. And I'm going to show you one little mind-muscle connection trick to help you focus there. Let me move this a little bit. All right, so about same width apart. Kick those feet out, back straight. Want to think about keeping that chest forward and chin up. A slight arch in the back. If we round the back slightly, we have a tendency to work even more of the shoulders. So this is still a chest day. Want to focus on that chest. So slight arch in the back. Find a spot on the wall up midway. Keep your eyes fixed there the whole time. So there's 1. What I want you to do, here's your mind-muscle connection trick. 2, think about squeezing your hands together. Like pretend you're trying to move them closer together. It's going to give you a stronger connection in the chest. So do it on the way down and on the way up. It's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 3 more. 14. Yeah. There's a bit of a warning though. With that mind-muscle connection trick, you're going to get a stronger contraction. It's going to make each rep harder. So a lot of times people are more focused on just banging out the reps, how to do it easier. We're doing the opposite. We're trying to figure out how to make every rep harder, because our ultimate goal isn't how many reps we can do, because again, who gives a shit how many reps you can do? Our ultimate goal is to make the muscle work hard so it'll grow. So same thing here, chest stretch. I like to, on these, go a little bit higher with my hand. All right, my OCD is kicking in. Picture's a little crooked. All right, grab some water. We're gonna jump into set 2 here. Listen, a lot of people say, take it at your own pace, do what you can do. Yes, do what you can do, but I want you to push yourself here. You know, we're easing into this with body weight only, but that doesn't mean that these are supposed to be easy. You're supposed to still challenge yourself. My bigger reason for starting this way is, like I said, so we can get in there, we can get in the routine of it, clock those workouts, check them off the list, build that routine, and at the same time start to condition these muscles so that we can start progressing. In other words, don't sandbag it. Here we go, set 2. Remember, find that spot on the wall. Keep your eyes there. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Understand, I got 5 more. Let's count off first 2. That's 1. That's 2. And now I just tell myself I got 3 more. 1, 2. Oh. So that's a little, I guess you could call it a psychological trick I've always used for a long time, as long as I can think with my training. If you have a good set, you reach that point early on in the set where the muscle starts to burn and you want to quit. And that's where a lot of people say, I can't do anymore. No, you can do more. Your body doesn't want to do more. So you have to do whatever it takes to get past that. So if it starts to burn at 10, I tell myself, great, let me get to 10. Got to 10, cool, let me just do 2 more. That's 12. If I get to 12, all right, I just got 3 more. So I've been doing it so long, I don't know how well I'm really tricking myself anymore, but it still helps me. Because we have a tendency to, instead of focusing on the right here and the right now, we always think about how long something's gonna take, and it can be discouraging. So it's no different with a single set. If I focus on the distance, which is, oh my God, 15 reps seems so far away, or I can focus on rep by rep. Good life lesson in that one. Whew. Mike, how many? Those are just our second, right? All right, we got one more of these. All right, here we go. Last set. This is home stretch here. Just so you know what you got left. Which, by the way, I think I said it already, but you can download this program for free. No strings attached. I want you to be able to follow along. So look for the link in the description. All you have to do is click on that, and we'll email you a copy of it. So we did our dynamic warm-up, our push-ups, our triceps dips, our incline push-ups. After this, we just got arm circles. And that's a wrap for the day. Here we go. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We just got 3 more to get to 10. 8, 9. One more. There's 10. Now let's just do 2 more. Right there. There's 11. 12. We'll do 12. Might as well go 3 more. 1. Oh, man. Let's get that stretch. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm always pretty distrusting of someone, what their intentions are, unless I understand why they're doing what they're doing, what their motivation is. So here, I'm not charging anything for the program. You can download it for free. Putting all the videos on YouTube for free. I can't monetize the videos. If you know anything about YouTube, as soon as you put music on, you can't monetize them. All those music artists, they get the revenue from that. And I'm totally cool with that because I'd rather create a good vibe in here. Let's come in, let's work out the way that I would work out, which is the music, because it sucks sometimes being in here dead silent. So what's my motivation? Well, 1 is I really do legitimately like to share. 2, put out all this information in the past, which now I reflect back on and realize that there's things that I would do different. So I feel an obligation to share that information now. I feel like that's my responsibility. And I know that it all comes back around in the end. You know, if you really want to support me, some people will buy the bands. Some people will buy, Maverick, my new nutrition brand. It all comes back around in the end. But at the end of the day, kind of doing this selfishly too for myself, using this to keep myself accountable so I reach my own goal. All right, we're gonna put this bench away. All right, so we're gonna finish off with arm circles, a little bit different than we did them in our warm-up, because we're gonna go a little more exaggerated with our range of motion, just a little bit wider with the circles. So same thing, 3. We're gonna go to 15 each. 4, 5. When I mean each, forward and back. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Backwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh man, they're on fire. 11, 12, 13, 14. Oh man. Bring those arms across the front. Now, later when we get into using either dumbbells or even bands, doing shoulder work, you'll hear me talk about these muscles, your deltoids being smaller muscles. They don't really require a lot of resistance if you do it right, if you use the right technique, right tempo. Slinging heavy weight, with a lot of momentum, it's just one of the worst things that you can do, and you get away with it when you're young. But I guarantee you, I promise you, that shit is gonna catch up with you, and it might be sooner than later. I know 20-year-olds, they're in there, they've got the elbow wraps, and they're always digging into their shoulder. I was that dude. All through my 20s, that's when I did all the damage in my back. I have, I think, 3 or 4 herniated discs in my low back, and that was all from my 20s, doing heavy deadlifts and heavy squats, and I could kind of get away with it then, even though I was feeling it back then. Now, boom, paying the price. So, like I said, whole purpose of this is to get good results, but do it in a way that's smarter. So we got 2 more of these. Let's go ahead and jump into them. 16 weeks from now, your shoulder is going to be popping. These arm circles are going to be one of your go-tos. Key is slower, better range of motion. What's better, not only are you going to see results, but the goal is to feel good. The fuck is the point of looking good if you feel like shit? There's 7, 8, there's 10, there's 12, oh, he's got 3 more. 1 more. Oh. The other goal isn't just to feel good doing this. The ultimate goal is to do this a long time. I always compare it to finances. If you said your goal was to become a multimillionaire, I would say, okay, well, how would that feel to work super hard, become a multimillionaire on Saturday, but wake up on Monday and be dead broke? And that's obviously an exaggeration, but it's the same thing here. What's the point of getting in shape only to lose it again and then have to get back to it and then lose it again? The goal here is to get in shape and fucking stay in shape for the rest of our lives. At least that's my goal. All right, here we go, last one. Oh, I'm feeling this in those shoulders. Here we go. It's 10. There's our 12. 3 more. Oh. All right, before I start, reverse, shake it out. Get some blood flowing in there. That's what's going to help flush out some of those metabolites like lactate. Is just getting blood flowing there. So even like a little light massage helps a little bit. Here we go. we go. Ah. So that's it. Let's finish off just with a quick chest stretch. Now, I've been doing YouTube way too long to go through all the bullshit of asking you to like, subscribe, and all that crap. If I'm providing good value, you'll do it on your own. But I wouldn't mind maybe just a little thumbs up. That encourages me to keep going with this. You know, there's not a whole lot of gain for me in doing this outside of just sharing. And so, you know, seeing people acknowledge it and appreciate it, knowing that I'm, you know, helping maybe some people along the way as I help myself towards my own goals, that is definitely rewarding. And that just happens to be one of the ways that, you know, I'm able to see that. Do people like this? Do they not like it? Doesn't matter if you don't like it. I'm going to fucking do it anyway. I'm just at that point. Like I said, doing YouTube way too long to fucking care about following all YouTube's rules. That just takes all the fucking fun out of it. All right, that's it. We're done. That's a wrap. So if you want to join me tomorrow, we're going to go into day 2. So that is going to be back and biceps. So same place, same time. I'll see you then.